Welcome to the AggroCast. It's episode 56. I'm your host, Brian Bentley, and with me is... oh, man, you wanted me to say something, and I'm just going to go with it's Binh.
Yes, that's me.
And David Becker.
Yeah, it's me.
It's a CES wrap-up podcast. Binh, you wanted me to say those crazy names. I just couldn't do it. I'm going to do it. No, I'm not going to do it.
No, I figured you weren't going to do it anyway, so.
That's why we'll say them right now.
All right.
Go ahead.
I am the sinuously infected. David is the deathly afraid of fish. And Brian, I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, I appreciate you not doing that. But I'm back in Cincinnati. Ben, you're still out there in Vegas with David.
Yep.
Man, today was the last day of CES. Pretty much lights are off and everyone's going home. So I don't even know where you want to start. You guys were there today as well, right?
Actually, I was the only one there by myself.
All right. So what did you see today? Anything good?
I didn't see any gaming stuff. I was pretty much focusing. Well, since I was there by myself, I was like, I'm gonna check out some of the things I want to see by myself. So I went to Samsung and checked out this one TV because G4 mentioned like the top 3 TVs that you need to check out, and this TV, regular plasma TV or whatnot, but the one cool thing is the remote. The remote is like a universal remote. So, like, let's say you're watching, let's say your fiance is watching one show and you want to see if the other show is like on, or maybe a sports score or something. There's a screen on the remote that you can change the channel without interrupting what's on the TV.
Whoa.
So kind of a picture and remote then.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's a universal, but it's got a picture on there, so you can scroll to what show you want. And like you can switch to that show like anytime you want. So let's say you're watching like 2 shows at the same time, and you want to see if the other show is gone back from commercial. You can check to see if it's gone back to commercial or not by just the remote. I thought it was pretty cool.
Wow.
Is it just a picture or is it live?
It's actual live.
Okay.
It's actually streaming right to the remote, and you're watching it live.
Wow.
So, I mean, I thought it was pretty cool, and it just the high def of it, it was just amazing and just mind-blowing.
So how big was the screen itself?
I'll say about good 60.
Just a good 60. Yeah.
It was pretty big. I mean, it was
the remote is 60 inches?
I don't know, but it was
the TV itself. How big was it? How big was the remote screen?
Oh, the remote screen?
Yeah.
Yes, he's actually sizing it up with his fingers right now.
I want to say...
That's right, we bring multimedia right to you.
Say 3x4?
Oh, wow, okay, that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a pretty... I mean, the controller's pretty skinny. Like, it was pretty skinny, but the screen just looked amazing, though, on the remote and the TV itself, so...
Okay. And was there any listing there as like how much something like that would cost, or?
Yeah, I wanted to ask the guy, but he was doing a presentation, and I was like, I didn't have enough time, because by that time I was like, CES is pretty much closing up, and because everyone was just starting to pack, and I'm like, I need to get going. So I didn't.
That's why you're forceful, and you tell me to go over there and be like, tell me how much this is going to cost. Just interrupt the people.
Yeah, I think he was hating on me because I was starting videotaping with my thing, and he was like, no, and just like blocking the screen. I'm like, let me delete this video, which I actually did. So
you should have kept it. It's
actually,
his fault for not, telling you beforehand.
Actually, I taped 2 of them.
Oh.
There's one where I was like taping the Samsung side, and then like the actual main screens and whatnot with the mini monitors or TVs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I started videotaping that. I guess they didn't realize I was videotaping throughout the cross, because I went to the 3D TV and I showed the glasses, walked around some more, and then I saw the TV and started taping that. So I do have it. I just wanted to tape another. I wanted to tape another one with just whatever they were showing, but he was just pretty much being a douche. So So I didn't want to force my way to asking them. So, but other than that, what else did I see? I just went around to like some of the smaller areas and see what they saw, what they were showing and whatnot. And yeah, nothing really impressed me. But I did get stopped by this pretty hot chick that, we were talking about. Well, she's originally from Midland, Michigan. So we were talking about the wings because I was wearing my wings hat. And so we were talking about that, the unemployment and blah, 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 and how she was like, hey, you should come out here and, join the dark side over here. I'm like, okay.
Yes, the old dark side of moving to Las Vegas.
Yeah, I guess.
It's such a horrible place. I see how it is. Dark side.
Yeah, that's why they call it Sin City.
Sin City.
But other than that, I didn't really saw much. I did see one game for the Xbox. It's called Scrap Metal. Pretty much it's going to be just a DLC Xbox Live only game, I think. And just pretty much, you remember Super Off-Road for the arcade? Yeah. That's what it pretty much is. Except that you have guns just like in Twisted Metal, and you can modify your car in any way you want. There's like different modes that you can play. You can play just like a demolition mode. All the cars in this one enclosed area. And then whoever destroys the most wins. There's a race just like Super Off-Road, except that you are using weapons and speed burst and all that. And then there's one mode, it's just like in the PC Grand Theft Auto, the overview, where you're like running away from the cops. That's the other mode. One of the three modes that he was showing me, and I was like, God, I miss Super Off-Road.
Not, I want to play this game. It's, I miss Super Off-Road.
Yeah, well, that's what it was, and I was playing, and I'm like, wow, this plays really similar to it, but I want to get this game. And he said it'll be coming out sometime in this spring of this year. And I asked him if they're going to be showcasing it at PAX East, and he goes, "Yeah, I don't know." At least he was honest and told me he didn't know.
It almost seems like the theme of the entire convention. So
I
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess.
Either that or we're just asking ridiculous questions people don't know.
Yeah, just I don't know.
Or we're just getting stumped.
No, that could do.
Other than that, just roam around and whatnot. So,
all right.
So let's talk about day 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's rewind back to Friday. Kind of starting out, I think I have the first story of the day, which is went to look at some new EA branded Wii accessories, and while I was waiting for my turn to quote unquote test them out, one was the racket, so you put the Wii Motion Plus in there, and they had up on the big screen, it was probably 46-inch. TV in front of them, and it was for EA Grand Slam Tennis, and the demonstrator hands the guy the racket and says, "Okay, this is a prototype, so be careful." And the guy just starts going off while the ball's coming. He's like going crazy, and all of a sudden you just hear crack, whack, and then all of a sudden then you just see on the TV it just like starts spider webbing as the racket broke and flew into the TV. And I'm just like, oh, okay. And she's like, and then the PR woman was like, yeah, let's not, maybe we won't do a demonstration right now. Yeah, let's go. So we just bailed.
Maybe we shouldn't, isn't it? Wouldn't it have been better to go, so it looks like we're not doing a demonstration right now.
Well, the funny part was, like, I showed up, and I looked at the TV, I'm like, who did that? And so I walked over to Brian and I think the PR lady was Molly.
Yep, Molly.
And then I was like, hey, what's going on? And Brian goes, yeah, you just missed the most incredible thing ever. I'm like, what happened? And that's where he told me the story, and I looked over, I'm like, can I take a picture of that? And Molly was like, yeah, no, I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, so it was that was definitely a bright spot to the morning.
Actually,
But
live see somebody, break their TV with a Wiimote.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
I think it would be much funnier seeing it that way than actual video, but that's all Brian right there.
Yeah, so that worked out pretty well. I think the big thing for the day was going over to Planet Hollywood and visiting with Capcom. We had an opportunity to kind of try a few different things. Why don't we start out, Binh? You did Super Street Fighter 4 and Tatsunoko versus Capcom
And Mega Man
And
10.
Mega Man 10.
Yeah, I was going to do that separately because that's a different story.
Oh, okay.
So this is with Seth and at Capcom.
So yeah, we well, first off, if you follow the tweets, yes, I do use the controller and not the stick
Yeah,
because
that's right.
I guess I've grown out of the arcade stick and I just can't use it at all.
But
So
they
I
had the full arcade setup.
I
right there,
know,
the
but
tower and everything. You don't have to sit down and use the stick.
I know, but still, I'm so not used to it anymore. Like, it's just like the movements I want to use, it just, I don't know, it just feels weird for me. But anyways, they added, 10 more characters to the game. They added a bunch of more online modes. One of them is like a tournament-based type where those who's not in the fight is watching you and also critiquing you or pretty much saying that you suck while you're playing the game. So I can see that being a great game night for Pwn. And there was like other modes that they have on there. I just can't remember off the top of my head at the moment. And we'll explain more what happened at the end of day 3. But one of the characters that I saw that they returned was Guy from the Alpha series, or if you guys know a little bit more of the history from Final Fight. So I'm like, this is awesome. You guys brought him back in. Seth was like, all right, let's go. I'm like, all right. So load up the game, and they had to bring out the D-pad for me, and the D-pad was like arcade style also. So don't worry.
There was no difference outside of it. It was a handheld controller with all the buttons.
Pretty
and
much.
joystick.
And
Yeah.
David here got a little pissed off because he didn't know that they made something like that. Anyways.
Well, no, the guy said this is our brand new one that they're just now putting out.
Yeah,
Like licensed through Capcom and all, none of the Mad Cats or anything like that type stuff.
I just didn't feel comfortable. But anyways, so I'm starting to fight and whatnot, and Seth was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go easy on you," and blah blah blah. And I was like, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, yeah, I thought I told you I did play Street Fighter 4, but here we go. And so I started to do a couple moves, and he was like, "Oh, well, never mind." And so me and Seth went at it, and I won.
A couple moves, you destroyed him in the first round, and he just kind of stopped. Like, okay, now the gloves are off. Apparently, you've played before.
And so me and him got into a close match in the second round, but he won. And then the third round, I took it, so I beat one of Capcom's guys through there. But the game run so much smoother. It didn't felt like it was dragging at all. And to be honest with you, I think I'm gonna get it.
See, that was one thing I know I questioned. We were there not even 10 seconds or so, and the guy showing it off, and the first question I ask is, so why is this one not DLC but a full-on disc? And he actually came back and gave a great response, especially because when they showed off all of I think it was like 6 of the 10 new characters, all of the new game modes, and pretty much,
Everyone's got new moves and whatnot.
Everybody's got 2 super moves now, and pretty much I got him to admit that the Super Street Fighter is the version of the game they wanted to put out from the beginning.
Yeah.
That Street Fighter 4 was just kind of that, well, let's get one out there and see if we have a fan base still, because it was like, almost a decade or something like that since it.
Sure, pretty much. And one of the fan bases still has,
Yeah, exactly.
So, and right now they are making a Super Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 4. Wow.
Oh, and I guess one of the other things that also made it actually more likely to pick up for anybody who has Street Fighter 4, they're going to sell it at a reduced price.
It's not $60, folks.
Yeah, you're not going to be paying $60 for 10 more characters and a bunch of tournament things. Most likely going to be like $40.
See, that's what I'm thinking. I'm hoping it's going to be like $30, but most likely it's probably gonna be $40.
Yeah. He sort of said it in a like it's gonna be a budget title, which for Xbox 360 and PS3, that's $40.
Yeah. So I mean, for $40, with all those modes, I say pick it up. I say when it comes out, pick it up because for sure I know it's gonna be a pwn night, especially when you have 8 characters, and then
well, you have the ability to have so many people in a tournament.
Oh, yeah.
They can all sit around and watch and talk smack, give tips, do all that stuff while they're watching, and then it's their turn to hop up and so forth.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely the definitive version, and it's going to be the one you're going to want to pick up for sure.
And so, so after that, we went to play the other one, which was Capcom versus Toshiyaku. How do you say it?
Tatsunoko.
Tatsunoko All-Stars. And so I'm playing, not Seth. I played another Capcom employee. I forgot his name at the moment, but he picked the giant robot dude, and I picked Technoman and Ryu. And I'm looking at the move list, and it's really simple. Like it doesn't ask you, you need to do this direction and then a punch or kick. It's pretty much any button and he'll do it.
So it's just a button masher?
It's pretty much, it was pretty much a dumbed down version of fighting game. That's just button mashing.
Ouch.
I mean, it's a fun game, don't get me wrong. I just wish that it was more technical than that. And I was hoping it was, but I guess not.
See, that kind of ruins the fighting game in general, because the whole reason people get better than each other is that they can actually pull off those moves.
Well, yeah.
But if all I got to do is sit there and spam the square button.
I was hitting
or the Y button or whatever.
Well, I was just doing more than just hitting the same button. I was just seeing which button it was and whatnot. He actually told me how to switch guys. I'm like, oh, okay. Because I was trying to figure out how to do that for the longest time, but I was like, okay. Yeah. But I beat him, and then Seth came out, and so we went at it again, and so I think he took one of my guys, I took out one of his guys, and it went down to like the end of the clock. The clock the ended, and it came down who had the most health, and I came out on top. So I mean, is that a game? I think the game was a little disappointing than I expected to be, because I thought it was going to be a whole lot more. I mean, graphically it looked great. It ran smooth, especially for the Wii. But I was hoping a little bit more, like more technical for a fighter game. But I can understand. I can understand because of all the kids and whatnot and all that stuff. But I guess personally for me, I wanted it to be more technical.
But to me, there's just no reason why they couldn't have either had especially for the Wii, have if you want to have a novice mode where when you play the guy, it's a lot like button mashing.
Yeah.
But if you want to take them on, and really play for real, you should have that option. So.
Exactly.
So that's a little. But
in that match too, I was also on Ustream.
Yeah, you were trying to pimp yourself out all over Ustream the entire time there.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Because it all started when we sat down to play Mega Man 10, and he's like, "Oh, hey, is it okay if we stream you over the internet on Ustream?" And you're like, "Yeah,
whatever, yeah, sure."
This is my best. Mega Man. He's like, "This is my best side."
I was like, I'm looking over and giving the peace sign. I'm like, "Hey, what's up, folks?"
I'm ready for my close up. Ooh.
But yeah, Mega Man 10, they have 2 modes on there now. They have a regular and an easy, and they asked me which mode I want, and I'm like, yeah, let's go with regular.
Yeah.
I'm like,
there's thousands of people watching this. I should probably take the regular mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm playing through the game just like Mega Man 9 or any other old school Mega Man titles. It just plays just like that. You jump, you shoot, and you move on, and you just keep on going. And
it has the classic 8-bit or 16-bit graphics.
8-bit, yeah. It had that classic 8-bit, that feel. Like I felt like I was like 10 years old again, and playing a Mega Man title. That's what I felt like, and I was like, I'm loving this. And so I'm going through the boards. This is my first time playing through Mega Man 10 because I still need to pick up Mega Man 9 to be honest with you, because I know how hard that one is because everyone is saying how hard that was.
Yeah.
So I want to pick up 9, and then when 10 comes out, I want to pick it up. But I get to this one area where the boss looks like a soccer goal, but his face is in the middle of the upper rim, and then he's throwing soccer balls around and he's pounding his fist, and you have to jump on the fist to shoot his head and whatnot. And I'm like, holy crap!
Yeah, it looked like it was a little difficult to do.
Well, once I learned the pattern of where the ball was going, it was not that hard. It's just knowing where the fist was going to slam down towards you because it had this shock wave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I need to jump, make sure the hand goes up, shoot the boss, and then okay, fine. Finally, I was able to do that after dying like once, I believe. And then so once I learned the pattern, it was easy. Go through it again. Go through the second part of it, and finally got to the same area, almost same boss, except that he had 2 electrical beams at the end of the goal. So you couldn't just stay on the fist the whole entire way. You had to jump off. Well, it was pretty much the same concept, except that the fist was like randomly coming down. Like you had no prediction what the fist was going to do once it was lifting up. Yeah. So while I'm fighting it, who was the guy that was?
You know what? I don't remember his name, to be totally honest with you. I feel bad about that. But he's like, okay, well, if you can get past this part, I'll be really impressed.
Yeah, he was like, I'll give you mad props. I'm like, okay, so I'm keep on doing it. Like literally, like a minute and a half later, I beat it, and
with like 2 bars left.
With 2 bars left, and I was like, sweet.
Oh yeah, he was saying like he had only 4 people out of the entire convention actually beat it.
Really?
Fully through, yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
So he finishes, and there's gonna be a second part. Like, should we move to the second part of this story, where the celebrity, quote unquote?
Should we go to Monster Hunter first, because that happened just before the quote celebrity sighting.
Right. Yeah. So we stepped over to look at Monster Hunter Try, which is coming out in the Wii, and we started talking to them. And Binh and I were able to do the demonstration where the 2 of us were connected, but one of the really interesting things, and we're going to have to see where this kind of goes, but they were talking about how they got around the whole idea of friend codes, and how they're using it how they're basically having you talk into their servers first, into a hub world where you go around and be able to meet up with people and make parties and go out hunting for monsters. But it was just the 2 of us. It was actually really funny because they have a bunch of different types of hunters. And, like there's guys with like big swords and spears, and guys with bow guns and crossbows and what have you. And so we both end up picking the same guy. Like there are like 12 characters to pick from, and we both picked the same one.
I thought he looked cool.
Yeah, so did I. And he had this, he could move from being a sword to a scythe and fight like that, or an axe or whatever it was.
It was an axe. I think it was called dual axe.
It was the axe blade is what it was.
That's what it was. But I guess for me, the one thing that it was very easy to pick up once I knew what the controls were, because I was pressing all the wrong buttons half the time. But once I kind of...
And dying.
Yeah, and dying. I died a lot. Well, I was standing there, and I was like, why is this not working? And then I figured out that the whole time I thought I was trying to hit the monster, all I was doing was switching the weapon from axe to sword. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm good. No wonder I'm not actually hitting him.
It was quite hilarious to watch.
Yeah, it was quite hilarious to watch. But
because I was killing monsters.
It was seamless. Binh and myself, granted, we were connected to each other, but, our Wiis were connected to each other, let's just say that.
You just had to go and bring everything down, didn't you?
So wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe we should say what your nickname was for the weekend.
Slap you.
The Wizard of Oz?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. God. Anyway, for me at least, it was the ease of which, there really wasn't a whole lot, even though he said there was a combo system. I found it to be really easy to pick up and play, and it was just a lot of fun. I mean, Ben, maybe you had more to add on that. I was just...
There is nothing else to add. It was really easy to pick up, really easy to connect and just play. I mean, you pick a boss, and you just pick your guy and you go. I mean, it was just it's one of those titles that I can't wait to come out because, I played Monster Hunter before, but not to the extent where you have other friends come in and join and face the monsters. And I believe it's like if you play the single player, whatever armor you get or whatever, you can transfer that over to the online world.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, I'm really excited about that because in a way it's almost like a mini MMO, but then you have the offline and the online portion of it, which is, to be honest with you, I can't wait because you can customize your character the way you want it. I'm not sure to the extent of how much you can customize, but there is some customization that you can do.
Right.
So,
and I think what I really liked was that when he was talking about that hub world, and going in there, and they have like some goofy mini games to play people with and just have fun with it, or you can go out and do some hunting. And what it made me think about it was, this is what Animal Crossing City Folk should have been.
yeah.
Go into this hub world, meet up with people, and go do something.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
That was all I could think of during this whole time.
See, the only thing I had an issue with the entire thing, I didn't actually sit down and play, but I watched, was he kept referring that they were, because I asked about why there were so many loading screens, and he was talking about why, how they're trying to give the most in-depth world or whatever the Wii can pump out. But to me, none of the graphics in the game looked all that extensive, so I'm not sure if those loading screens were something to keep your guys' connectivity up or not.
Yeah, for latency purposes.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I think it just, and it's just me though, because I highly doubt, especially kids or anyone that doesn't really have that much time to play,
Yeah.
that you just want to go from one area and to the other, and you don't have to want to walk all the way through all those terrains and whatnot.
See, that makes sense, and I understood that because there was all those little,
Yeah.
little alleyways you had to run to, and it jumped you through those. But that was one of the points he was trying to make, is that they're trying to make this game one of the most visually stunning on the Wii.
Yeah.
And I mean, the graphics, aren't horrible, but I don't think they're any better than most of the other games that are visually stunning on the
Well,
Wii.
yeah. No, I agree with you, but it was like, I'm not sure how big the world they're gonna have it.
That's true.
So we'll see when the game comes out. Maybe it was just like one of those back betas or whatever that they were.
Well, that's what he was
released.
saying, is it was a demo and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's supposed to be more characters you can choose from and all that stuff. But,
So, but we'll see when the game releases and whatnot. But it's another one of those titles that I'm definitely gonna get. So.
Yeah. All right. So,
Story
David,
time.
walk us through the celebrity.
Oh. So, to kind of redeem ourselves from the horrific time we had with Dark Void on Thursday, we decided we'll go straight to Capcom, we'll check out Dark Void. I was going to play it, they had it set up in 3D and normal. And then, just as I'm about to ask the PR person to show it off, everybody in the room jumps to and almost looks like they're going over to suck somebody's cock off. That's somebody being Brian Crescente from Kotaku. And of course I point that out to everybody and nobody could see because he's surrounded by all the PR staff because apparently he's big game. And they start, pretty much we get ignored from that point on.
Yeah,
and
basically.
We're palling around doing our own thing. But then I'm standing there I'm waiting because some other group of guys was doing, they did an interview with the lady in front of Dark Void and then decided to redo their interview so they could record it. And it was, I guess we stood there for 15, 20 minutes waiting so we can play Dark Void. But while we were standing there, I was watching what was going on. And he actually went over to the Mega Man 10 and started playing it. So I was watching it, and he was doing pretty much the same level as Binh was, except for when he got to the first soccer goal boss, he kept dying. and dying until it got to the point where he's like, okay, screw it, and swapped games. He gave up.
Yeah.
I win. AggroGamer 1, Kotaku 0.
So that was part of the fun, but out of all of that, pretty much all the rest of the PR staff was, oh my God, we have to make sure this guy's walking on rose petals everywhere he goes. On top of that, I was feeling like I wanted to pick a fight and not ruin our relationship with Capcom, so we ended up leaving pretty much after I was like, okay, I'm come back and play Dark Void some other time.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you have to understand. Like, all of a sudden, it was just like we were just like, why are we here?
Yeah.
Like, we were being totally ignored, which is, I mean, okay, we're not Kotaku, but we're there. We had an appointment.
Yeah. Well, we walked in, and like the first thing that happened, we got similar treatment, but it wasn't like as as frantic as all they did. But we walked in, and their head lady Melody, she came over, and she got off the couch, whatever, and started us going over to Street Fighter and all that stuff, and we were being passed around between all the developers and PR people. But as soon as he walked in, we didn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
The game went out. Anybody else?
Oh, nobody else in there did, because there was another guy there who was like, I remember standing right in front of him, and he asked the same girl. He's like, "Yeah, I'd like to check out Dark Void so we can write something up on the blog." And she's like, "Yeah, hold on," and like left him standing there. And he just kind of looked around. He's like, "You know what? Screw this," and then left.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Capcom treated us well before the whole rose petals and butt section or something like that. But it was just. I mean, they treated us, everyone, it was low key, it was in a suite, but, the one thing I like was just, everyone treated us pretty well when we were talking about games or asking questions or whatnot. And
even when I started out being a dick to the guy for Street Fighter 4, we still got treated pretty decently. He answered all of our questions, actually turned my opinions and all that stuff around on the game. But it was like, as soon as he walked in, hold on, I'll be right back.
But anyways, but yeah, the one thing I like was when I was playing Mega Man 10 and the guy that was monitoring the chat room was telling me what people were saying about me and playing the game. I was like, okay, can I just play the game? But I like it felt weird. I never had anyone watch me play a game like that before. Especially live streaming like that, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it was overall. I mean, it was a good experience. It was just kind of left a little bit of a bitter taste in our mouths as we left. It was kind of like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
So we ended up going. Let's see. We just ended up going back and going to David's to start writing, and that's how we got some articles out.
Yeah.
I mean, let's call a spade a spade. But that sort of ended day 2. So moving on to day 3, where we didn't really have appointments, so it was kind of a really chill day where we got to actually go around and see things. So maybe we could talk about some of the cool things that we've seen in day 3.
I went to see Razor.
Yeah. I actually did also. So the Sixth Sense technology, we talked about it on the last podcast. But this time, Binh actually got to go and get them video, and I just kind of want to get Binh. I want to get your impressions before I go into my actual hands-on stuff.
My impression of it is I can see it. I can see it actually being working. Just my thing is like, is it only going to be first-person shooters? I mean, can you use it for like RTSs or any other games, strategy games, or anything like that for the PC and whatnot? Because that's the one thing I'm really wondering about the controller. I mean, it's nice and all. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I thought it could have easily won Best of CES, but it didn't. But I can understand the reason why. The precision of the controller, the way he was using his sword, was amazing. It was completely awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen a game or a controller that can handle a katana like that. To be honest with you, I mean, it was just incredible. I mean, I just wanted to be like, can I play Jedi Knights with that?
Yeah, that was, believe me, actually that was funny because I said something to him, like, what about lightsabers? He's like, yeah, that was the first demo we put up. It was like the first tech demo. He was like, the first thing we did was make that.
Nice.
Yeah. So I thought that was actually really funny.
If they release that controller, I want LucasArts to make a game with that controller so they can release it and have it online play so that you can face other people.
It would be epic.
Yes.
It really would.
It would be legendary.
Legend. Wait for it. And
Wait
I hope you're not lactose intolerant. Dairy.
Yes.
But, well, I actually got to go hands on with it, and I must say, well, before I, start going off and just praising this thing, because I absolutely loved it, it's not going to replace your mouse and keyboard. It's not going to replace your controllers. It's not going to replace anything. It's just going to enhance the games that you want to use it to play. So it's...
Oops, my bad.
All right. No problem. So having these two things in your hand, they're actually pretty light, and so they're not really overly heavy, so it's not like you're going to get tired actually using it. It's really easy to pick up the movements, because they have little joystick or little analog sticks on them, like on the face, and those are very sensitive. So if you just kind of give it a light push, you'll start to strafe, or you'll be able to move around, and being able to move, your right hand to kind of move your vision around. It really was pretty awesome. And then be able to pull the trigger and then be able to hold out the katana and just start slicing zombies up. It was great. And they were like, we have so many different options we can do with it. We actually have almost too many options. Like they couldn't figure out everything to map stuff to. I mean, reload is literally it's very, very subtle. Like my left hand, it's just rotating. It wouldn't even be 90 degrees. It was just a little slight rotation, and then all of a sudden I'm pulling, I'm reloading. So I mean, it's something even easier than a light gun game where you shoot off the side of the screen. It was just click, boom, and I'm already reloading into the next thing. So
yeah,
that was really, really seamless. So definitely, something that I think that's going to make a big difference. For certain games, I think it may give it some more immersive experience, even more so than, say, a 3D gaming, So yeah.
I think it's a start on how people is going to change, or how people are going to play PC games now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to, pick up slowly for sure because, I know, and David knows, nothing beats a mouse and keyboard.
Right.
It's true.
I mean, especially a first-person shooter, nothing really can beat a first-person shooter, a mouse and keyboard. But will this change the way that people look at games or how they would play PC games now? Yeah. I would like to see more developers and companies make games for the controller, to be honest with you.
Right.
I'm actually excited. And hopefully maybe the PC gaming will actually make a comeback. Maybe.
PC gaming's dead.
What's that?
PC gaming's dead.
No, I'm not saying it's dead. I'm saying PC gaming is on life support.
Yeah.
I'll go there. I really will. You go to GameStop or any other stores, you look at the PC selection, it's like slim picking.
Yeah.
They have so many copies on those shelves. It's not even funny.
That just kind of contradicts itself, but.
Well, no, I mean it's not
different titles. Yeah.
But there's not that many titles, but you see the same titles, and there's so many copies of them.
Yeah.
You just don't see them, and it doesn't help when you have a Steam account and you can just download it from there too.
Yeah.
So.
Especially when they run those deals like they did over the holiday. I actually looked it up. I bought 7 games.
No, seriously. If you have a Steam account and you buy games from them, It's just what more do you need? You don't need anything else. You don't have to go to the store or anything else. Because all you're doing is just buying the software, and what you're gonna do? Have it install this?
Yeah.
Some people like the install disc.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, yeah. We're not taking that away from them.
No.
But anyway, so that's the whole Sixth Sense thing. What else did we see on day 3? I mean, David, you actually got to head over to Sony booth and play some God of War and what have you.
Uh-oh, here we go.
I actually had to leave the Sony booth. Like, I was checking out, I looked a little bit at Heavy Rain, I looked a little over at Mod Nation Racers, and then I saw the line forming over by God of War. So I just walked over there just to check it out. Not that I haven't played the demo, 40 times. I'm just standing there looking at it, and it looks the exact same that was at E3, what you can download and all that stuff if you bought District 9 or the collection or whatever. But I figured, okay, the guy standing here showing it off, he might know a few things, so let me talk to him, see what, kind of PR stuff or whatever he has. So I'm trying to just normally chit-chat with him, and come to find out, he's never played a single game of God of War.
Nice.
So I had to leave. I literally left the Sony booth as soon as I heard that.
Epic fail!
I mean, none of the people that were actually showing the games in the Sony booth seemed like they knew all that much outside of the guy who was showing off Home, who, was the head director of Home, But none of the other guys were like, they almost seemed like they were hired interns just to stand here and go, yes, this is the game, don't break it.
I don't know. I think the guy that was showcasing Heavy Rain knew a little bit.
What would you say, Brian?
Yeah, but I don't think he knew anything outside of the script that he was given, because it was one of those things where you had to at least have a working knowledge of the game, because believe me, like, it took me a little bit to kind of get used to, like, the feel of the game. So he had to at least have a way of helping walk people through it. Whereas God of War, I mean, like, no offense, I'm sure it's a wonderful, great game. It's a lot of fun, but I mean,
true.
You go in and you beat the crap out of shit. I mean, it's not like, it's not like it's brand new, way of telling games or anything like that. So,
No.
Yeah. So I think he had to know. I think he probably had to play it a little more so that he understood what was going on. But I mean, I started asking him about like PR contacts and like what were where things were going, and he just was totally didn't know anything after that. So I think he knew a lot about that demo, but I wouldn't say he knew about the game or anything. So
yeah, what else did we see?
Well, we saw BioShock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The first day, early in the morning in BioShock. Well, we went to the
IGN booth.
The IGN tent, actually.
Yeah.
Because they were outside, and essentially it was like really early still. Not that many people were there, so they're like, "Oh yeah, come in, come play the multiplayer and whatnot." So we entered the truck, and we all sat down, picked up the controller, and started playing. Match starts, and we're all playing and whatnot,
and we could put all worries to rest. The multiplayer for BioShock 2 is fucking amazing.
It's incredible. To be honest with you, that was my first time playing BioShock, any BioShock ever, especially the multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
And the incredible part was that it was running on Sprint's 4G network.
Yeah, and it almost, like, when we first sat down and played it, it felt like we were all networked together in a LAN or whatever, and as we finished, the PR guy's like, no, we were running off of Sprint's new 4G network here.
Yeah, it was amazing. Graphically, I thought it looked awesome. Well, I couldn't really see because I had a sun glaring on the TV the whole entire time.
You chose the bad seat.
Well, yeah. Well, I didn't have any choice. It was like that was the only seat. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna sit down and pick up the controller. So, anyways, we were all playing and whatnot, and me and the PR was going back and forth. Freezing each other and trying to kill each other, which, actually, he was trying to kill me, but I kept on killing him. So...
tell them why you guys were killing each other back and forth. Because you were trying to get something.
We were trying to get the Big Daddy suit. So we were... At one point, I saw him killing someone, and trying to get the Big Daddy suit, and I pretty much fragged him from behind, and I picked up the Big Daddy suit. I was like, I hold A, all of a sudden my screen went black, and then all I heard was, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fun. And here David and Brian doesn't know that I was actually in the suit. So I'm walking around and they see Big Daddy, and I think they were just running for their lives at that point.
Yeah. I was. I admit it. As soon as I saw the Big Daddy turn the corner, I was like, oh shit, I gotta get out of here.
It was like 4 shots from his gun and we were dead.
Yeah, it was pretty much like 3-4 shots and like the person went down. So here I am, just killing people left and right. I think I killed I just stood there and like they were all trying to attack me, and I killed them all within like minutes. And all of a sudden I killed the last guy, which was the PR guy, and like the game ended, and I looked at my score, and I walked away there with a 20-4 KD.
Wow.
Yeah, but you were just going around fragging. I was looking into the game itself.
Well, I was too.
Those are just excuses. You were tied with me. That's how bad it was.
Well, no. Like I was saying when we were talking about it, there's also other facets besides just going around shooting each other and killing each other. Like, I was going around hacking all of the turrets, so you can actually hack them all and have them help you out. And they give you an assist. Or you can actually go over and booby trap vending machines, which is the only way to get your plasmids back up and all that stuff. Or your Eve back up and your health back up. So you could booby trap it, and pretty much, I wasn't sure if it was an instant kill, but it did a lot of damage.
Oh no, those turrets were important. Like you can't really, you have to be careful on where you're walking. Because if a turret is right there, or a trap, you can't really shoot down the turret. Only way you can do is hack it. So you have to find your way to that turret, hack it, so that turret can be yours.
Yeah.
So it had a little bit of strategy, but for me though, I was just running around shooting people. That's all I was doing. I mean, there was a couple times I ran into a trap, and one guy told me I went into a trap. I'm like, yep, I'm not going back to this area.
My area.
So, but yeah, BioShock 2.
Well, one of the things also to quell any worries anybody had, BioShock 2, the actual single player game, is being built by 2K in Boston directly, and that's it. They're not touching the multiplayer at all.
Yeah, the multiplayer is run by a company from London, Ontario, Canada, which is actually about a couple miles away from my house.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But they outsourced the entire multiplayer to the same team that ported BioShock to the PS3. So we don't have to worry about 2K, ruining any of the single player mode just because they had to get multiplayer done, which I know is one of my concerns because I love the BioShock franchise. And if they ruin the story just because they wanted to slap in multiplayer because everybody loves multiplayer, I'd have been really upset. But now it seems like pretty much you're getting 2 games for one. Because you have a whole different dev team who built BioShock 2 multiplayer, and the original dev team who built just BioShock 2.
And they said that and because the game got pushed back, they actually added more modes. So there's up to 7 different modes for multiplayer.
Yeah, they were saying originally for the multiplayer when they were when their deadline was due, they had 4 or something like that modes.
Yeah, 4 or 5, yeah.
And then then the delay happened. Like, oh well, we'll just add more stuff.
So, which they did. So, definitely look up for BioShock 2. We'll probably talk about it some more before the release and whatnot. So, we'll keep you guys updated on what we find out and all that stuff. Hopefully, they'll show a little bit of the single player at PAX.
Yeah,
maybe.
Although they might be keeping stuff hidden to keep the story hidden because.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably don't want that leaking out.
Exactly.
Well, we'll play more multiplayer then.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they'll show us more modes then.
Yeah, they capture the little sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he started talking about that, I was like, oh yeah. Because he's like, the team that's defending, they get a Big Daddy suit, and, and I'm like, alright, that sounds like fun. So,
anything else?
Yeah, what else we got? I don't really have anything else I can think of.
I think that's it.
Yeah, I didn't see anything else really that wowed me out. I mean, there was the 3D TVs everywhere. It was just kind of...
It was the year of 3D TVs, to be honest with you.
And yeah, they had a few out there that didn't require glasses. They had a ton that required glasses. And the ones that didn't require glasses, I mean, it's good to see that they're making progress, but...
It still needs work.
Yeah, it still needs a lot of work. I forgot. Remember the sniper rifle?
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to that area today.
Yeah.
I completely forgot to mention this. Went to that area today, right? So I saw this one guy playing it. He had the PS3 version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do not get it. It was
Ooh.
total crap. You had the analog stick on the back, right where the handle is, and then you have the trigger.
Oh.
Well, in order for you to switch your weapons or anything else, there's buttons right by the hand or by the barrel of the gun.
Okay.
So not only are you don't even use the gun to point, you're pretty much going like this the whole entire time.
Oh, you're moving around with the analog stick, so it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. So you're paying attention. You're not even really using pointing the gun like you're supposed to. He was more concentrating on where he needed it to go and whatnot. But yeah, it was total crap.
It was more or less just the novelty of having a
Exactly.
M4
Pretty much.
controller.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's sad.
Yeah, it was disappointing.
Yeah.
Very disappointing. But at least I saw it.
Yeah.
Saw
At least,
it. So.
I think I don't really think there was a whole lot else that we really checked out. So
you can find us at the usual spot, twitter.com, phone.com. You can find Brian at Quicklin. You can find David at The Real Hades.
That's right.
And then you can find me at Church4252. This has been Binh.
and Brian.
And Sickly David.
And we are out, and hopefully we'll see you guys maybe this upcoming Tuesday with Mike, and we'll probably talk some more CES and what we saw and whatnot and all that.
Podcast won't be up by then.
Yeah, you know what? I would not be surprised, but whatever.
All right, I'm tangenting us again. Let's get out of here.
But yeah, we'll put up more articles and impressions of CES as this week goes on, and see you guys at PAX East in March.
Yeah.
All right, peace.
Later.
Peace.